I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome back to another movie review, and today we're going to be talking about Detroit, and Detroit stars John Boyega, Will Poulter, and is directed by Kathryn Bigelow. And is about the events on July the 25th, 1967, 50 years after this event happened. Obviously this film's been released. And talks about the riots in Detroit, and also centres upon the events in the Algiers motel, in which 3 black men were murdered. And this is an incredibly distressing film to watch. I think it's a very good film. Overall, Kathryn Bigelow's work, I overall enjoy her work, even though I'm one of the people that finds The Hurt Locker overrated. I think that Zero Dark 30 is a very good film, and I think this is probably her second best movie. I think that what she does so brilliantly in Zero Dark 30 is give you that sense of realism. You really feel like you're there. You really feel like you're hunting Bin Laden yourself. You really feel like you're in that environment. And I think she does this even better in Detroit. You really feel like you're in the middle of this situation, and it's terrifying. What these people are going through, the tension between the race tension in this film is palpable, and it explodes in this film. And the situation is so scary, the violence and the aggression that's happening on the streets of Detroit in this film. You really feel like you're right there in the front line. Overall, the performances throughout the film are very good. There isn't really a main character. John Boyega obviously is probably the biggest star in this film. However, he isn't the main character. Really, it's a big ensemble piece. And really, I don't think you're supposed to identify with any specific character, because it tries to make you feel like you're one of the characters right there in that moment. And I feel like that does that really well. Will Poulter gives a performance. He is pure evil in this movie. This guy, he plays a cop in this film who does literally everything that literally the worst things you can possibly imagine him to do, he does. He's the most corrupt cop you can imagine. He's an awful person, but Will Poulter gives a really good performance in this film. As I said, this film puts you in this situation, makes you feel like you're there. Specifically, the scenes in the Algiers motel room are incredibly intense. This is riveting cinema, guys. This is so intense to watch. You're on the edge of your seat. It's terrifying. It's very distressing to watch. And this sort of concentrated thriller is the best part of the movie. This stuff in one area, it's very concentrated, very suspenseful. I really enjoyed that stuff a lot in the film. I thought that stuff was the best parts of the movie. It gives you a bit of character development on the characters earlier on, and then the sort of third act is kind of resolutions and stuff for the film. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. However, there are a few little issues that I'm going to go into. Firstly, is the pacing. There's a slight pacing issue. I feel like obviously the middle portion is obviously the best part of the film, and the beginning and end do sort of struggle a little bit, considering the intensity of that middle portion of the movie. The pacing kind of drags in those moments, but I feel like if I was going to watch this movie again, it would probably flow a little bit better. My main issue with the movie is this animation that they show right at the beginning of the film, which in terms of content is very important, because it gives you kind of background on the racial tensions going on at this time. However, the problem with it is that it tonally does not connect with the story at all. The story is very gritty, realistic, kind of feels like you're there, documentary style, and that's really sort of a colourful, kind of painted, sort of arts and crafts sort of animation. And it really doesn't mesh with the tone of the movie. I feel like they could have used the information and shown the content that they've shown, and given you the information you need in a more gritty style, and kind of made it flow a little bit better with the actual movie. But overall, I thought Detroit was a very, very good movie. It's a very distressing film to watch. It is disturbing, but this is a very important film to show these events nearly 50 years on, and how really these things are still happening. We still haven't completely got past race in the world, and it's still an issue to this day. It's still incredibly relevant. It's brilliantly directed by Kathryn Bigelow. It's very gritty, realistic. It's a suspenseful and incredibly intense movie, even though the animation at the beginning tonally doesn't mesh with the film, and it is a little bit, the pacing wanes a little bit in moments. But overall, I really enjoyed Detroit, and I think it's a very important film, and I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. So there you go, that's my review of Detroit. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the section below. If you've seen Detroit, what did you think of it? I thought it was a very good film. It's not quite perfect, a little bit long, but I did enjoy it. It's probably one of Kathryn Bigelow's better films. And what is your favourite Kathryn Bigelow film? Drop it down in the comment section below. I would say it's probably, for me, still Zero Dark 30. I feel like it still has the edge on this film, but they're pretty close. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.